Hey, welcome back. It's me, Lou, and today we're going to review an action figure. Now, I love pro wrestling, and I love He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, so this line of toys is right up my alley, and that is this, the Masters of the WWE Universe. Now, this is a brilliant collaboration between Mattel and the WWE, and the concept is simple. You take popular WWE wrestlers, slap on some armor, give them big swords, and just like that, they fit into the world of He-Man. And on today's episode, we're going to take a look at this figure, Becky Lynch, the Man. Now let's unbox this toy and see what all the fuss is about, and does it live up to the hype. Here we are. It's Becky Lynch, the Man of WWE Eternia. It's the Masters of the WWE Universe. Alright, first thoughts. I've never been a fan of this packaging. I don't like the purple and blue color scheme. It looks, I don't know, it doesn't scream premium to me. I'm not sure if they were just trying to, I get the card size is retro because it's very reminiscent of the old Masters of the Universe figures, but when I think of WWE, I think of, bold and in your face, and it's cool that they kind of have the retro WWF inspired logo. But yeah, I can't stand these cards. Speaking of cards, it's funny because when I bought this and was checking it out at the register, the lady bagging my things, I knew I was going to open this figure up, but when she was putting it in the bag, she was like bending the car, and I started cringing because I'm like, oh my god, the card. Alright, let's look at the back. Some cool painted artwork. And, alright, let's see what it has to say about Becky Lynch. She's defied the odds, disarmed her opponents, and demolished every obstacle. Soon, everyone in WWE Eternia will learn this is the man's world. And they're just living in it. Wow, pretty cool. And here we have the features, pretty basic and simple. Snap the shield on, and looks like she might have some, I don't think she has spring-loaded articulation in her waist. I think this is just showing what, what can move. And here are the other figs in the set. So Becky was the only one I saw in the store. I didn't see Macho Man or Steamboat or Piper. I was a huge fan of Steamboat when I was a kid, so I'd love to get the Steamboat one. Same with Savage. The Piper's not bad, but I'm not a fan of this snap-on armor design. I think the original Macho Man had that. Alright, let's open this up. Okay. Alright, we have the comic book here. Now, for me, this is a fun throwback. I remember when I was a kid, I always loved the He-Man comic books that came with the figures. I would never read them though. I would always just look at the pictures. I don't know, maybe I didn't know how to read or something. It's pretty cool. So you get a small little comic book with it. Gives her stats, her powers. Now let's look at the figure itself. I'm not sure how well the light might be coming off or too bright, so. I hate this like stupid baggie of accessories because they like tape the baggie and I never have scissors on me because it's easier just to pull out with scissors, because if you try to force it open, you kind of end up bending all the plastic swords and stuff. All right, here we go. So she comes with a staff. I want to say it's been a while because I haven't looked at my Masters of the Universe figures in a while, the new series. So I think a lot of this is mostly just reuse. I'm guessing this is Teela's shield and Teela's staff. I'm guessing. I'm not 100% sure on that. And looking at the figure, it's nice. I think I want to say the Becky Lynch figure is the first female WWE superstar. They got the Masters of the Universe treatment. There might be a Stephanie McMahon figure out, I think. I haven't really been keeping up to date with the toy line recently. So looking at the figure, it's pretty standard. You know, chances are if you're watching this video, you already know what the deal is with these. Now, she's kind of covered in, it's not necessarily a pure black. It's almost like a dark bluish gray, like a super dark bluish gray, and gold. And gold's kind of Becky's colors anyways. Head sculpt's nice. The range of movement on the head's kind of limited because of her hair back here, so she can't really look up. It's cool that she has knee pads. I like the look on the knee pads on the figures, because I'm going to bring out the Teela figure. Because one thing, I have a problem with the female bodies of this line. Let me grab Teela real quick. Alright, so here's Teela. I should have brought her accessories with me, I think, because then I'd figure out if these are just reused or not. Alright, so my problem with the female body is that I hate the way they did the knees. It looks weird how the knee, like here's the thigh, and then the knee kind of like overlaps over the kneecap here, and it just looks weird. But I like the fact that since Becky's a pro wrestler, she has the knee pads, and it just covers that weird gap. So it looks a little bit more, I don't know, refined and seamless. Alright, since we have Teela here, may as well compare the two. Alright, so from my understanding, even though I think the original He-Man line was 5.5 inches, I want to say, I think Mattel, someone at Mattel might, I think a designer at Mattel said that the He-Man figures are technically 6-inch figures, the new series. And I think because they have the bendable knees that the original He-Man figures had, they always look kind of squat, but then when you straighten the knees out and stand up fully erect, they're about 6 inches, like what the average, action figure is at right now. Alright, so here's Becky Lynch next to Teela, and there's already a lot of reuse here. So the lower waist section, the lower torso, it's the same sculpt, so it's just reuse, which, I don't really mind it all that much. Same with the arms. They have the same bracers on each arm. They have the same bicep guard on each arm. But Teela, original head sculpt, original torso. I think she shares the same upper torso as Evelyn. Skin tone's different too. Becky, I think they're trying to go for a more realistic look, so she actually has the paler flesh tone. And Teela here, I guess whatever flesh tone they've been using for the Masters figures. And I'm not sure about the female figures, because I know the male figures, you go like disassemble them and swap out parts. And I'm guessing you could do the same here, but I never feel comfortable just like yanking parts out of their joints unless I heat it up first, because I want to soften the plastic up. But I'm assuming that, if you boil this head and that head, you can swap the heads. You could probably swap the boots, because there's a boot cut here for swivel, so you could probably swap these out. So in terms of a Masters of the Universe figure, I think this is a cool figure. It's almost like if you weren't a fan of WWE, but you still collected the Masters line, I think this figure would be a good, just like, either original character or even just like, I don't know, like a generic random warrior. Because it's very basic looking. It's not like she's defined by any like super unique traits. It's not like she has wings or anything crazy that defines her as something else. So this could easily serve as like maybe like a Royal Guard character if you're not too into like using it as like, I don't know, like a wrestler figure or whatever. But it's cool. I take it back. I think this color here is actually more of, in the light, it almost looks like a very dark blue-green, which would make sense. Okay, so I actually have some other Becky Lynch figures here just to compare, just for fun. All right, so this is actually one of my favorite Becky figures. I like this one a lot. I can't remember from what series it is. I mean, I think I like it a lot just because I like her gear. This is, I think, what she wore when she was in NXT. And back then she kind of had more of a steampunk looking kind of gimmick. And I'm sure steampunk in some circles is probably very passé, but the look, I always liked the look a lot. I'm not sure if it necessarily made for the best wrestling gear, but it just looked cool. And I think Becky's one of those people who, she didn't always have like spot on head likeness. So this one is kind of questionable. And I have these are some more recent Becky Lynch figures. Both of these have the man gimmick, which this one's kind of emulating, but in He-Man form. But as you can see here, the color scheme kind of like going still with the gold and the black, which are NXT colors. And I'm not sure if that was intentional. These, I want to say, I think these almost, I'm really curious because it almost looks like they share the same head sculpt, but this one might have been reproduced maybe like at 90% smaller to fit the Masters of the Universe figure body. Because I'm looking at them right now and they look pretty close, but this one just looks shrunk down. That could be the case. I mean, you never know nowadays with, you know, technology and how they do things. Yeah, even the hair looks exactly like the same sculpt. It's just shrunk down, so that's what I'm guessing. So it looks like it might be the same exact head sculpt, but maybe just shrunk down by like 5 or 10%. And I have this figure here. I'm not opening this one. This is probably my favorite Becky Lynch figure. It's like I said, she's never had the best likeness in terms of them reproducing it as her head sculpt. But this one, I like. This one has so much cool accessories, like the hat and coat. And this is her old gimmick. This is what she wore, I guess, when she debuted on Raw back in 2016. So yeah, this is a really cool figure. If you're a fan of wrestling, the one thing I like about this line of figures is that I think the WWE line and the normal Masters line, I think they kind of have a very symbiotic relationship. As long as one line is successful, I think they'll continue to move forward with both lines concurrently. I think Mattel probably saw a lot of crossover with the fact that their WWE fans also collected He-Man. And it just makes sense, too. I mean, you look at the WWE guys, and a lot of them look like He-Man characters already, so... So yeah, I recommend this figure. If you're a WWE fan, it's cool. If you're into Masters of the Universe, it's cool too. It's like I said, even if you're not stoked on the wrestling aspect of it, it's a very almost base-looking figure, so it can easily fill in the gaps and build up your female armies. Like, so, yep. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for checking this out.